Woigaye ohoro wake hakinene ruo na woyoyano wa ngoro oro hamwe na wa kugegania na kumakania ni wiyumiritie wigie maruru maria akuru mageragerio kuria muciini wa akuru wa Pcea Thogoto Home for the Aged uria ukoragwo rungu rwa uramati wa kanitha wa Pcea amuwagia kiro ni atumia a kiama kia Women's Guild kuria Kikuyu constituency haria thenema iria iranyagio ironania aruti a wira manyitanire soso umwe mukuru makamuhugura makamwamba nyunjure wake wega na umwe wao akambia gutamura mukuru ucio na ruthanju rutungu roigana kurema aruti a wira acio aria mena uniform ya rangi wa papo maraigwika makiuga ati soso ucio ni guthie arathiaga mwena uria atagirirwo wa hakuhi na gate hihi akienda kumaja na kwoguo marakimunyitukia marambia kumucutha o riri nake araigwika akimathaitha mamuohere na oho ati akuru acio ona matitungatagirwo marwara na ona irio maitagirwo metha iguru marire ho mategwikirirwo thani-ini uhoro nduri hau gaturu kandeto ni ati thenema-ini iria iroirwo ni athuthuria a BBC Africa ni hari mukuru umwe uria umburite ati ona ni kuri amwe ao makuagira ku thutha wa gutungio maruru igaka gathenema gothe.
Our investigators began to hear worrying stories about abuse of elderly residents at one home just outside Nairobi. We spoke to a carer who left the industry after working at the home. She agreed to talk if we protected her identity.
Nilikuwa na expect yani nikuwe mahali comfortable, mahali naweza work Kenya imenipeleka huko. So vitu zikaanza kuwa hard. Roho yangu ikawa inainama each and every day. Yani pale hata wale watu wanakaa juu ya, yani ni Mungu tu anawaweka, lakini si ile place ndio inatuma waishi. Wale hata watu I guess mkiongea nao unajua Kenya wanapitia. Zile vitu ni tough. Si venye mnaonaga ati kwa mlango na nini. Ingia kule ndani ndio ujue.
The home they worked at was the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, Thogoto Care Home for the Aged, 20 kilometers west of Nairobi.
Upon our arrival, we find them already in their day-to-day activity. Here, they are already having their midday meal.
Local media filmed here in 2020. The manager, Jane Gaturu, presented an image of a safe haven where residents are well fed and cared for.
I had no granny so close to me because my dad was an orphan. He taught us that every old person is your shosho, is your granny.
This facility, which is now home to around 50 elders, was set up by the Women's Guild of the local Pcea church, but is managed independently.
And all of us, we are heading there. One day we go back to our maker. And when going to that journey, we have to go peacefully and happily.
Two undercover reporters, one of whom has been trained in supporting the elderly, got jobs at the home to investigate the care provided.
When you go to caregiving school, the first thing they ask you, why are you doing this? Are you doing because it's your passion? Are you doing it because there's a lot of money? If you're doing it for passion and you love it, I'm telling you, not even money will stop you.
What does it take to be a good caregiver?
These people, they only want to be loved. They only want to be heard.
Venye saa mara ya kwanza venye nilienda nilikuwa nagojea kitu mzuri ama mbaya, but venye niliendelea ndivyo niliendelea kujua uzuri na ubaya hapo ndani.
Our investigators found a number of residents seemingly upset by the standard of care offered.
Dawa, yes. Na rĩrĩ guka rĩrĩa mũndũ angĩaga piu mbeca cia gũthiĩ thibitarĩ rĩ na nĩ mũrwaru piu nginya ndareruta harĩa arĩ rĩ egwĩkwo atĩa?
Koya kwa kwe.
Wanaona mũndũ areketwo akue?
Akuete nje.
Government guidelines say residential homes should provide medical care for the residents. But at Pcea Thogoto Care Home, residents rely entirely on their families. Many appear to receive no help from their loved ones, nor care from some workers at the home.
Ndĩreretwo atĩrĩrĩ atĩ he mũthenya wa gwĩte kũu rumu.
Ndangĩoka kũnyitĩte. Ona tau haha kuma haha rĩ. Gũthiĩ nginya kũrĩa kĩoro rĩ. Ndiaga na thĩna mũno.
Nĩnyonaga.
Ile kũrĩa ndarĩ. Nĩkũigua ta ingĩenda kũrĩa kĩndũ kĩngĩ.
Ona hwaĩ-inĩ.
Ĩni tondũ ndarĩa gũcoka nĩguo ũcio ũrathiĩ kĩoro rĩ. Ndĩna.
Koguo gũtirĩ ũhoro wothe mũndũ angiuga ateithagio naguo.
Hata gũtirĩ. Koguo andũ acio arĩa makuĩte gũkũ.
I personally was in pain when I see them suffering and I can't help. I used to cry a lot. Most of the time I used to get to the toilet, I would switch off my camera and cry. Because to me, taking care of an elderly, it's a blessing.
Our investigators found evidence of medical conditions being left untreated. One elderly man, we're calling Mwangi, was suffering with a skin condition.
Isi si egina goko? Si goko ina sio?
Ndego kete ugi ha hoguo. Ukona ya moroko.
Ona modi moroko.
Ndio, ukane godi, wa godi.
Ai wake.
Moroko hala u. Ndego.
2 weeks later, and with no money for treatment, Mwangi still has no way of getting the hospital care he so desperately needs.
Was bleeding very bad, and he gave money to Jane to take him to hospital. He was not taken to hospital, and when he asked Jane, Jane was very angry with him, and she even told him, kwenyu nina hapa na watu wenyu wamekushindwa, mimi ndio unaona nitakuweza. He used to tell me, tumekaa tu tunangoja kifo.
The manager, Jane Gaturu, didn't respond to this allegation. There was other evidence of neglect. Food dumped on tables, residents left to feed themselves.
Na unatarajia kule na hana nguvu ya kujipea. Umemsaidia na nini? Hapa uja help. So kuna mama siku hiyo alikuwa hafeel poa hata. Mimi niliona kivyangu hafeel poa. Juu so food ililetwa, akaekewa hapo. Na mimi nikachukua sasa tu ile, nikachukua nataka kumfeed. By the way nilipigiwa makelele, juu ya kutaka kusaidia. Nikaambiwa, sasa ukifanya hivyo, kesho atafanyiwa na nani?
Could a lack of care have deadly consequences?
Tete kumaanisha akue.
Gatodesi yako kona to ni mwana wako kwa ni ngalamu. Uko igimana kuwa ni ngalamu. Ako moraji ako mosi hwaini to ndira na mathaa ma uka gwikara bia muhi.
Waga mundu wa gukuhe irio ri. Okay, na go worry. O koma go gutarete. No go koma. No go itali che todo ni. Ni makuheaga hivyo.
According to our investigators, the managers of the home show little sympathy for the plight of the residents.
When you ask them, they tell you, you know how rude that man is? That man is very rude. Do you think he's shaking? He's just fooling people. I wish you know how these people love to seek for sympathy.
Wait. Sorry. I realized the elderly man struggling to eat could just as easily have been my own father. Whatever support my parents do get, I know for sure it won't be like this, nor should it be for anyone. There are alternatives. I'm on my way to Nyeri, 150 kilometers north of Nairobi. I'm going to meet an amazing woman who has given up her life as an international businesswoman to take care of the elderly. She would know better than most the challenges the elderly face. Joyce Wanjiko used to work in the banking industry in South Africa. After her mother died, Joyce returned home to Kenya and set up the Purity Elderly Foundation. It supports the local older community so they can stay in their own homes and live with a degree of dignity and comfort.
Mwana wake tabaya.
Another one of the 80 senior citizens Joyce supports is Triza. Triza, like so many nowadays in Kenya, no longer lives near her children and cannot rely on them. Instead, she has now turned to Joyce.
Ndio, anisaidia. Maparenketi iko hapa. Manguo iko hapa. Chakula kingia, sisi na chiba.
I go beg for donations, so I've become a professional beggar for the elderly.
Twice a week, Joyce and her team go to the local market. What is the challenge of feeding correctly elderly people?
We provide dry foods and also even groceries as well.
This couple has been supporting the foundation since 2011.
And we also take the sick to hospital. We try to reunite those families that have fallen apart. And we also talk to people about taking care of each other. And we give compassion. It's a calling for me. We do it with a lot of love.
While I'd like my parents to stay in their own home for as long as possible, well-run care homes do exist in Kenya.
The many that I've seen have medics taking care of them. You know, they're kept well, they eat well. We have to have professionals who are trained and tested. So that is what I would expect in a care home. An environment that you and I will be comfortable to live in.
Even with regulations governing these homes, our investigators found that neglect and abuse can go unchecked. In Pcea Thogoto Home for the Aged, much of the food is also donated by well-wishers and families.
Food zilikuwa, juu hata food most zilikuwa zinabebwa. Yani gari inawekwa chakula mpaka unaona inainama.
Hii food ilikuwa inatoka wapi?
Hii food ilikuwa inatoka store. Na nilikuwa naona but na nyamaza.
The taking of food meant for the elderly seemed to be common knowledge among staff at the home.
Ate? Gutironeka kuri?
Most donations are initially stored in the boardroom.
Tirare nyiki kukiro. Tiwaga no aga ukoriro ukoragwo na ici.
On 3 occasions, our investigators saw food from the home being loaded into a staff member's car. Even residents seemed to believe food meant for them was being taken. In the kitchen, our undercover is offered residents' food to take home. Our reporter did not take the food. After weeks without treatment, the resident we are calling Mwangi is still in pain, still hoping to have his condition treated in hospital. Many of the staff seem to have no sympathy for the suffering of the elderly. Some staff admit to abuse at the home. The guidelines say residents should be treated with respect and dignity. Our investigators witnessed an elderly woman hit by a carer for stepping outside the home. For the undercovers, each with elderly relatives of their own, it has been a difficult assignment.
When you take your loved one there, unawapeleka kwa hiyo roundabout ya city mortuary, unangoja wakufe, uingize morgue. Hapo ni hivyo. Mahali mtu utakosa kukula, ni shauri yako, hapo ni wapi? Mtu tu kitu inamweka tu alive ni food na mapenzi. Na kama hizo hapati, sio ni mortuary. For me, it's a hell.
Kuna watu wanajitoleanga kwa roho nzuri. Kama wanaweza heshimu hiyo, pia home zinaweza kuwa mzuri na zinaweza kuwa poa kwa watu kukua.
These are people who fought for the independence of this country. These are people who have seen what it took to be what we are today. I think we need to celebrate them now. Let's just love our elder people with compassion and we shall be loved too as we age.
Eventually, Mwangi did get to hospital with help from his family. One of the elderly residents is finally receiving the treatment that he so desperately needs. However, there are countless other elderly people suffering silently in homes where there is neither care nor love. They are not just our compatriots. They are also the bridge to our past, to our ancestors. They gave us the most precious gift of all, life itself. We simply cannot afford to turn our backs on them in their time of need. We showed some of our undercover recordings to the Principal Secretary responsible for elderly care.
We encourage as much as possible for our old persons to remain in their homes. We expect the old to be comfortable. We expect the old to be treated the way they should be treated as human beings.
Are you aware of homes that abuse elderly people?
Should we find anybody abusing, harassing, maiming these older persons, I can assure you the necessary punishment will be inflicted on whoever does that. We are going to do spot checks on various private homes and see as to whether they meet the standards that they should be having. I want to use this as also a warning to any other home that they must not mistreat our old persons, because these are our parents. People have given birth to us. We are here because of them. So we are going to take action against any the private run older persons' homes that mistreat them.
We put the allegations in this film to the manager, Jane Gaturu. She replied that the home was a non-profit organization run on a voluntary basis which depended entirely on donations from well-wishers. She said it does not have a professional medical team and relies on others to provide medical care, but that allegations that they did not take care of residents who needed medical attention were lies and malice. Residents who struggle to eat are given priority assistance, and anyone seen carrying food away from the home should be dismissed. The home and the management do not condone any form of brutality or aggression towards the aged. Staff have themselves been victims of attacks by residents. The home always observes the rule of law and remains guided by the Christian principles on which it was founded.
Ngiribotera ceceni ya Museneneko kuma hathini wa YouTube kikuria na gitiyo utwike wa gusubscribe gushare na comment kida video ino na ndukariganirwo ni guturumirira thini wa TikTok na Facebook Museneneko niye jita Museneneki wigatu.